And 2 wins for Stanford. Not a bad way to start the day, eh, Logan?
No, Lorenzo Norman shows why he's a top 5 guy in the nation with that dominant major decision. And then Ty Montero, a pair of takedowns to really be in control of that match before the injury default.
So on to the 197s now. Nick Stemmet on the mat for Stanford. 5th-year senior from Yorkville, Illinois. He's taken on Stephen Burrell, Jr. from New Rochelle, New York. Sophomore for the Cavs.
And we talked about the young core for the Cardinals. Stemmet, one of the most experienced guys in the lineup, leads the team in wins, a 91-45 career mark. He's a 3-time national qualifier, looking to break through and perhaps get on the podium later this year.
12-8 his record in his 5th year, 4-4 in duels. And he's done a nice job of rebounding since his loss to Matt Stout of Pittsburgh. That was in the ACC opener for the Card. That was back on the 10th of January. Since then, a couple of dual wins for Stanford. One at Missouri, a 27-15 score there against 21st-ranked Mizzou. And then the victory against Arizona State last weekend.
Yeah, and Coach Ayers talked about last year, Missouri, a commanding win here on the farm against the Cardinal. Ayers said he wanted to get that one back, so a good win on the road against the Tigers.
Part of what has been overall a relatively challenging dual schedule for Stanford. That was something that we talked about with Coach Ayers in our meeting on Friday. What's your decision making when you're going into creating those types of schedules? And he said, well, look, it doesn't do us any good to schedule a bunch of opponents that we know we're going to just roll over and beat every single time out. If you want to be the best, you have to see the best, and you got to beat the best.
Right, and as it pertains to Stemmet, he's faced 2 of the top 3 guys in the nation. Former NCAA champion A.J. Ferrari in the Bakersfield duel, and then on the road against Iowa, he faced Stephen Buchanan. Because that's a nice go-behind from Stemmet as he gets the 3 points.
So Stemmet on the board first in our 3rd match of the afternoon. Stanford leading it overall 10-0. And 3-0 here with Stemmet over Burrell.
And again, we talked about the offensive pressure of the Cardinal. They're the only ones scoring takedowns so far in this one. Heavily aggressive on the feet, and it's paying off. They're out to the early advantage in the dual score, and Stemmet looking to add to that.
20 seconds, 20. Yes.
For a second, it looked like Burrell was going to get to his feet and escape, but with 14 seconds on the timer, they'll bring it back to the center of the mat.
And again, like we talked about in 174, this is one of those key moments. Close match so far. If you can ride out these 14 seconds, save your 3-point advantage, it could pay off for you later in the match.
A point here and a point there so often can be the difference between winning and losing overall as a team. As Burrell is up, but not long enough. He's back down. And the clock's going to run out on Burrell here in the first.
And depending on how this match goes, those 2 mat returns in the final 15 for Stemmet could prove huge for him. Again, like you said, Burrell fought the hands, was able to get up to his feet twice, but not able to get that escape.
He's also, is Stemmet, just 1 second away from locking up riding time already. So that could be another critical point. Second period underway. Stemmet trying for a quick escape.
And we talk about transition wrestling. Stemmet able to get up to his feet a couple of times. Burrell breaks him back down, but continuing to get up on his feet, he worked for that escape and he got it.
The lead now 4-0 for Stemmet. Was one of the senior leaders on this team and a guy that Coach Ayers has really turned to, as he told us, kind of quote unquote, write the manual for the younger guys.
Right. As there's a single leg attack, but Burrell able to kick away.
Stemmet, one of those guys who really has been tasked with trying to keep this culture that Chris Ayers applauded on his roster intact over the last several years, which has seen a lot of turmoil at the top with the head coaching position, and Ayers hoping to solidify that for years to come. This group has been through quite a few different coaches over a 5-year run.
Right, and credit to Stemmet for that. 3 coaching changes, as you said, during his wrestling career, but he's stayed here on the farm. He really does help maintain that culture, and a big part of this team for Coach Ayers.
Still no attacks yet for Virginia, and we're in our 3rd match of the afternoon.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Garland of Virginia, you really got to implore your guys to start taking more attacks, especially as we turn over onto the backside where we're going to have a lot of tightly contested matchups. You want to try and pick some of these off here at 197 in heavyweight to give yourself a chance as we come down the stretch.
You hear Garland from the seat saying, you got to move. But that's it for the 2nd period, and still a 4-0 advantage for Nick Stemmet.
Key point in this match, 42 seconds of riding time for the Cardinal 5th year. If Burrell's able to kick away quickly, they'll only be down 3, looking for a takedown to tie.
Burrell still unable to escape. Remember, he did not escape in that first period after the takedown by Stemmet. And now riding time has been locked up. It's over a minute.
And that's 3 times now for Burrell where he's got 95% of an escape. But Stemmet, relentless, able to return him each time, and it's proving huge, as we said.
Right back up, Steve. Yes. Go left. Go left.
Up again. And this time able to get his point.
Finally able to kick away, but now he needs that takedown here in the next 15 to 20 seconds with riding time well in advantage for Stemmet, now around 1:30. Burrell is gonna have to go right now.
That's what Coach Garland's trying to bark out to Burrell as he takes on the savvy veteran.
About 15 seconds away until riding time is locked up. That's going to make the challenge significantly more difficult for Burrell.
Now, how defensive does that make Stemmet here?
Well, Stemmet, he's in a good spot. No stalling calls against him. He can just kind of hold center, head, hands, defense. He's got nothing to worry about. He's in good control here. Just don't give up any cheap takedowns and ride to the win.
Riding time locked up, down to 13 on the clock. Burrell trying to go.
Another good re-attack from Stemmet. He just blasts through Burrell. Makes it 7-1. Just narrowly missing the major decision. We're going to finish out as an 8-1 decision victory for the 5th-year senior, Nick Stemmet.
A fantastic ending for Stemmet and a 3-0 start for Stanford. Here's how it was done.
And again, we're showing Burrell getting that escape in the 3rd period. Burrell with the first shot, but Stemmet able to blast through him on that re-attack and seal the deal.